let's get to the big fella.
Yeah.
Got to talk about the big fella. 30 points in 22 minutes and 39 seconds. Round that off to that 23. And he had 12 boards, 9 of 13, made both of his three-point attempts. He missed 3 free throws. He missed those 3 in a row as he got to the free throw line. He was just toying with those guys there. And dare I say, with the 2 block shots, he had 8 turnovers. And the reason I bring up the 8 turnovers is because, folks, Derek, Brianna, he was just screwing around. Mm-hmm. He was trying stuff.
He had that
was
behind the back
things.
bounce pass to Lowry in transition. And I think a la like shades of Magic Johnson. It's like, all right, calm down. It wasn't quite
And the thing that made that even better was because you had a point guard who gave it right back to him because the defense committed and he gave the ball right back to Embiid to finish the layup. But he was just out there screwing around, man.
But to your point, like he doesn't even try that behind the back bounce pass to the corner if he's not screwing around and confident that if he needs to dial it up, he can win this game in his sleep.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, the guy, once again, he comes back and we've seen him already where he's come back and he's had 20 plus in these first 2 games. But to go out there and not even play as well as we thought he could have because of how he was toying around with this, I'm sure he gave his jersey to somebody, and I don't know who it was. I was waiting to see who it was. I was hoping that he was giving it to Trey Jemison because of how much he was out there making him look bad. Jemison and others tried to dunk on him. He blocked those, and he just felt bad for the guy. Let me give him a jersey. I don't even know who he gave it to. Maybe somebody else in the chat saw who he gave it to. But again, just toying around, trying to work on his game as he comes back against some real competition, and as Ash points it out, as a D-League team. But he did it in 23 minutes, and Derek, this is what we talked about in the past. This is what he does even when he's just messing around.
Yeah. And I think the big takeaway is I think he's looking progressively better and better in terms of just his fluidity, his movement. There's still some timing-based things that I think he's trying to get back. But in terms of changing direction, in terms of, being able to stay on the court for, 4, 5, 6 minute stints without looking completely gassed, I think each game is getting progressively better, and that's really, outside of picking up wins, that's really what you're looking for. Yeah, you want to see him develop some chemistry with some players on the floor, especially some of the guards that he hasn't played with, but a lot of this is about getting Joel Embiid back up to speed. And do I think he's there? No, but I think he's getting closer. You mentioned it. He had that real big block against Trey Jameson. He had another one against Bryn Davies when he challenged him at the rim. It was real nice to see him sort of accept those challenges, get out there, alter shots. The Sixers defense, since he has come back, has gone to another level. They were playing a lot better in March, up before Joel Embiid came back. Like in February, they were a train wreck. In March, before Joe came back, they were at least competitive. Now with him back, they are playing at a much higher level. It's real good to see.
No, it really is. And defensively, man, I mean, again, as you said, he got those 2 block shots on them challenging him at the rim. And that was one of the things that we saw in game 1 when he first got back against the Oklahoma City Thunder. There were moments in the game where you felt like he looked like himself defensively as Joel Embiid, the defender, and protecting the paint and protecting the rim. And then you saw other times in that same game where he wasn't as fleet of foot. He wasn't as sure of himself coming back in game number 1. Now that we are here in game number 3, and a good tune-up here, albeit a lesser opponent, it was still a good tune-up to see him defensively against this opponent and protecting the rim the way that he did. We even saw it going back to the other game on Thursday night where he altered so many shots where they had to decide of how they wanted to do things against the Miami Heat because of his presence right there in that paint. And that's what you want to see because as we talked about so much during his time off, not only the rebounding, but how poor the defense was as a team. And he makes it so much easier for everyone else from Batum, Lowry, Maxey, Oubre on for what they can do defensively, how much they switch, the help, the taking, the shading off, the digging down as well, because they know they have that protector back there at the rim. So to see that, to see the passing, and to see him play in this way. And as the game was going on, this is where I got ticked off in the first half, folks. Not a lot to be mad about, right, in a blowout in this fashion. But it was this. You're playing against the Grizzlies. You get off to a 12-2 start. And again, they're messing around. He's messing around. How about Kelly Oubre messing around a little bit? Tyrese Maxey only took 7 shots in this game, which is good because he's probably going to go off in the game. He's well rested for San Antonio. But my thing was this. it worked out where they were able to rest their players in the fourth quarter where their main guys did not have to play. But as the game went on, and before they took the 20-point lead at the half, I'm sitting there saying, you should be up 30 because you want to make sure that Maxey and Embiid, especially Batum as well, don't have to really exert so much energy knowing that you have another game tomorrow night. And probably the more important one because of the opponent with Wembanyama and some, with all due respect to Memphis for where they are right now, a much better group of players than are currently playing right now for the Memphis Grizzlies. So I'm sitting there saying, blow these guys out so you can rest. Now, it worked out that way where they were able to turn it up in the third quarter, and Embiid was a big part of that. Kelly Oubre, Nick Batum, Kyle Lowry as well, that they did do just that, and they were able to rest. But early on, I was sitting here with Derek and Bree, and I'm like, blow these dudes out, man. Why are you playing around with this opponent?
Yeah, they were playing with their food. Playing with their food a little bit.
Yeah, they were playing with their food.
We all silly like the mayor.